Hey, what's up, you guys? Paul here. So, really quick video, no intro, no music, no editing. This is just a thought that I had, and I wanted to share it with you guys and get some opinions on it. Just before I forget. A little bit of quick context. Recently, I've decided that I'm going to try to play Yu-Gi-Oh competitively again. This summer, I'll have a lot more free time. I want to commit more, to playing and more to my channel, and I feel like those kind of go hand in hand. Because in case you guys haven't noticed, I haven't really played a lot of competitive Yu-Gi-Oh and kept up a lot with Yu-Gi-Oh in the last few years. So I feel like it kind of affects my content where I'm not as super up to date with the meta, and new card releases, and just new decks and everything builds. So I feel like together those will help me out a lot. Plus I like competing; it's actually really fun. Well, anyway, to do that, I've been playing a lot online and a little bit in real life, but a lot online. Building different decks, playing different decks. I've been playing on YuGiOh Pro. I'll probably play some on Dueling Books soon. But anywho, so I've found that I've been just experimenting with these new cards, and I found some interesting stuff that is a little bit worrying. It's interesting, but it's also worrying, and I wanted to get people's opinion on it, and whether or not this is good or healthy or whatever people would say for the game. It's really interesting. There's going to be a couple of sides in this argument. So this I thought of this deck idea. It started last night, where basically I was with the twins. We were just hanging out and shuffling through cards and all, talking about Maximum Crisis and the cards we want. And I was just mentioning the Predaplant engine. And, people already know about the Predaplant engine. It's Scorpio, Cobra, Scorpio, Sun's Cobra, Cobra searches Instant Fusion or Brilliant Fusion or any poly card or whatever. And so what came to mind is I thought about, the things like Brilliant Fusion and the engine that kind of goes with that, Seraph Knight, all that stuff. And, how Terratop already works and these kinds of things. I was like, what if I just made a deck that was nothing more than just a mishmash of these engines? It was just, three of just everything, or how it goes, three Scorpio and a Cobra, three Terratop and a Takatombo or whatever, three Brilliant Fusion and one or two Garnet or whatever, just kind of that thing. I threw in the Clown Blade engine, all this stuff, and I was like, what kind of crazy field could I end up with just on my first turn? So I went on YuGiOh Pro today and made it, and I was just so surprised to find out that, these single cards, I don't even know if I would call these engines, because they don't feel like engines. They're just means to an end. Well, anyway, I was just finding that consistently, or more consistently than I think is a good thing, really consistently, I was able to end with fields of Invoker, Totem Bird, Tornado Dragon, Ultimate Zulkin, and Crystal Wing. And that was my end field, plus Solemn Strike set and Dimensional Barrier set, with Brilliant Fusion just sitting there on the field. And I was just this is crazy. This is so insane that sometimes single cards can lead to this. And so that's kind of what I've been thinking about just these last few days, is this really good or bad? What do people think of this? And I'm not saying I disagree with it. I mean, I get it. This is competition. We're just maximizing these cards, maximizing their potential and what they can do. But is it good that a single card has this high a power level? And it reminded me of a Reddit thread I read actually earlier this week, where somebody was like, what do you think is the limit that one card should get you in Yu-Gi-Oh without even necessarily using your normal summon? So the example they made was how basically Terratop in a Zodiac deck can lead to just all these shenanigans, these crazy fields, or how just starting with a single copy of Ice Bell, right? Or whichever Wind Witch is the one that starts it. Ice Bell, Glass Bell, Winter Bell, those. Just how starting with one doesn't even use your normal summon and can just end you with a indestructible Crystal Wing. And that's before you've even started your turn, so to speak. And so it just kind of was really revealed to me that that's how this goes now. These cards just make crazy boards on their own. It's not even how it might have been a few years ago, where a single tour guide or a single let's say Rescue Rabbit. Rescue Rabbit could turn into a Lagia with one card, but that was your normal summon, and it was, at the time Lagia is really strong, but maybe by today's standards that would just be kind of average, really. It's scary to think that these days sometimes just a single card can become just amass all of this advantage, all these pluses, free draws, searches, ending with fields of something that negates, something that pops at will, and then something else that's just really big, or something else saved for next turn. And it's just really crazy. I'm super surprised by it, and this isn't even a particular deck. This deck that I made isn't any certain archetype. It's not a blah 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 deck with stuff teched in. It's literally just bunch of engines. You could throw whatever you want. You could also throw in artifacts or kaijus or just really any old thing. And then just some hand traps, right? And like maybe some staple spells and Pot of Desires if you have money, make it a little more consistent, whatever. But it's just kind of like, it's crazy that, sometimes single cards can lead to all of this. I think that the way, the combo goes in my deck is if I open with Brilliant or Instant Fusion, just one or the other, plus a way to get to summon like Orphis Scorpio. I have Lone Fires in there. I can also just summon it. And I summon Scorpio and I pitch a card and I summon Cobra and I search whatever fusion I don't have. And I use like Brilliant Fusion and make Seraphonite, pitch Trick Clown and Garnet, and Seraphonite comes out, and then I can make Invoker with the 2 plants, and then I use that and get like Heroic Blade or whatever. I can overlay Heroic Blade and Trick Clown and make like Tornado Dragon, and then I can use Instant Fusion. And I get like Sea Lord of Theseus and put Sea Lord of Theseus with Seraphonite, and I make the Zulkin, and I just set whatever, and I make Crystal Wing, and it's just like, the amount of stuff you can do is crazy. And that's not even like the limit of it, right? Like that's just kind of maybe a standard turn. If I open with Terror Top as well, I can end up with like I said, the Totem Bird and the Tornado Dragon or a Break Sword or whatever. And it's just kind of like, that's crazy that like single cards are leading to this. It's not archetypes, and that's just insane. I mean, that's not even like the height of the meta right now. We've also got these 60 card decks and all this stuff and message. It's just kind of crazy. But I wonder, is that healthy for the game, so to speak, whatever word kids are using right now. But, is that a good or a bad thing? And I'm not saying it's a bad thing. In a way, it's actually cool because, a lot of times people complain that we have too many, archetypes right now, right? Like the archetypes have taken over, and it's just, you just play the deck that Konami force feeds you. But now it's kind of like, they're sort of archetypes, but there's just also a lot of engines and just sort of sets of cards that interact together. And it just kind of leads you to wonder, like, are we back to combo decks? Somewhat. I mean, the deck that I was making, it definitely felt like a combo deck. Oftentimes, one card alone couldn't really do anything insane, but when you combine it with any other sort of engine or card, it could get really crazy. So the deck did have its weaknesses. It could brick a lot, or, it wasn't very good at top decking, or it didn't really have great recovery if the field got wiped or something. But it's still just crazy to think that single cards or, 1 or 2 cards can lead to these insane fields. So what I ask you guys today is basically what do you think? Is this let me turn the brightness on this if I can. Is this like a good or a bad thing, would you say? Like, do you like that Yu-Gi-Oh kind of feels like this right now, where there's, you can throw in these engines that get you huge pluses? Or is it maybe just like, this feels unfair, this feels crazy? And I know like Link Summoning is coming out soon, and it's going to tame a lot of this insanity, and I think that, that again, that's probably part of Konami's incentive with it. But still, do you think it's just gotten out of hand, or do you like it? Do you like the creativity? Because I'm mixed. Like, this is a deck that I would totally play. I haven't, put a lot of thought into it. I could obviously perfect it some, but yeah, so let me know what you guys think. Leave it in the comments. I really am genuinely curious to know, because I'm just sort of getting maybe more like up to speed with this, up to speed with Yu-Gi-Oh! 5Ds. Maybe this is the norm, whatever, Paul, you're freaking out over nothing. I don't know. But let me know what you guys think. Tell me in the comments. And that's going to be it. Anyway, just before I guess I head out, the giveaway of Maximum Crisis box is still happening. Do keep up with me for that. I'm going to try to have the details about that out in the next couple of days. I do have several more deck profiles I want to do. I want to do Subterrors, and we've also got other deck profiles. I think Trell's building some stuff. Twins are building some stuff. Like Alex is building that Spiral Serpent deck that, the big water monster, and like Alex got like Ancient Gears and things. And I want to build true Draco Kings, but that's going to be expensive. We'll see. Anyway, that's the video. I don't want to talk any longer than I have to. I will catch you guys later. Subscribe, like, leave your comments with your thoughts. Later, guys.